Have you ever woken up with aching legs, stiff joints, or unexplained pain, even though you've been eating what you thought was a healthy breakfast, like eggs? What if the food you trust most is quietly fueling inflammation in your body? And could one simple mistake at breakfast be making your legs weaker over time? Eggs are often praised as a near-perfect food, rich in protein, vitamins, and healthy fats that support both body and mind. But here's the part most people never hear. When combined with the wrong foods, this breakfast favorite can transform from a nutritional ally into a hidden trigger for inflammation, joint stiffness, and even mobility problems. That's why it's so important to watch closely. Today, we're exposing 6 surprising foods you should never eat with eggs, and sharing easy, healthier swaps that can help you stay strong, active, and pain-free, even after 60. Let's begin with one of the most beloved breakfast duos of all time: eggs paired with processed meats like bacon, sausage, or ham. For many older adults, the sound of bacon sizzling or sausage browning brings back warm, nostalgic memories. But beneath that comfort lies a combination that could quietly be working against your health. Those familiar smells may take you back to family breakfasts around a busy kitchen table, lazy Sunday mornings filled with laughter, or the comforting rhythm of your daily routine. It's more than just food, it's nostalgia, warmth, and connection. But what if that cherished combination of eggs and processed meats, something you've enjoyed for decades, is quietly contributing to your joint pain, leg stiffness, or that dull ache that follows you through the day? It's a question worth asking. Processed meats, while undeniably tasty, come with a hidden cost. They're loaded with sodium, nitrates, preservatives, and saturated fats, ingredients that act like sparks, igniting inflammation inside the body. For older adults, whose systems naturally process these compounds more slowly, that inflammation can hit even harder. High sodium causes fluid retention, increasing pressure on already delicate joints. Nitrates and preservatives can irritate tissues and amplify that inflammation. Meanwhile, saturated fats add fuel to the fire, raising inflammatory markers that circulate through your bloodstream, often settling in the knees, hips, or ankles, the very spots where discomfort loves to linger. Now, let's add eggs to the mix. Eggs are often celebrated as a nutritional powerhouse, rich in protein, healthy fats, vitamins, and minerals essential for overall health. But here's where things take a turn. Eggs also contain sulfur-based compounds that, while harmless on their own, can react with the nitrates and fats found in processed meats in ways that quietly harm your body. This combination can increase uric acid levels in the blood, a key trigger for gout, the condition behind those painful flare-ups of swelling and stiffness in joints like the knees, feet, and ankles. You might not feel it immediately. It could start as a mild ache after breakfast, a heaviness in your legs by late morning, or that familiar stiffness creeping in by afternoon. Because these effects build slowly, it's easy to overlook the link between your morning bacon and eggs ritual and the discomfort that follows. As we age, circulation naturally weakens, especially in the legs and feet, where nutrient delivery slows down and inflammation finds an easy home. When you add a meal loaded with inflammatory ingredients to that equation, the result can be fatigue, slower movement, or even tingling in your lower limbs. It's easy to blame age, but often, the real culprit is what's on the plate. So, the next time you're tempted to add that sizzling strip of bacon beside your eggs, take a moment to pause. Is the brief pleasure of those 5 delicious minutes really worth a whole day of stiffness, soreness, or swelling in your joints? Your body may already be giving you subtle warnings, whispers that something isn't right. The good news is, there are better, smarter ways to enjoy eggs without sacrificing your comfort or mobility. Now, let's shift to another familiar breakfast favorite, one that seems harmless, even comforting. A slice of buttered toast, a soft muffin, or a warm bagel paired with your morning eggs. For many older adults, these simple foods carry decades of memories, quiet mornings with a newspaper, quick breakfasts before work, or peaceful moments shared with loved ones. They feel comforting, safe, and familiar. But after 60, these refined carbohydrates can quietly work against you, especially when combined with eggs. White bread, store-bought muffins, and traditional bagels are heavily processed, stripped of their natural fiber, bran, and nutrients. What remains is a fast-digesting food that turns into simple sugars almost instantly, flooding your bloodstream and setting off a chain of effects you may not notice. At least, not right away. This rapid spike in blood sugar might seem harmless at first, but it triggers a powerful chain reaction inside your body. Your system, sensing the surge, treats it like an emergency. The immune response kicks in, releasing inflammatory chemicals to restore balance, even though it's just that slice of toast or muffin causing the disturbance. Over time, these repeated blood sugar spikes create a cycle of low-grade, chronic inflammation that quietly attacks joints, muscles, and connective tissues. When you pair refined carbs with eggs, a food rich in protein and fat that digests more slowly, the combination becomes even more taxing. The meal moves sluggishly through your system, increasing pressure on your digestive tract, which already works harder as you age. The real problem is that inflammation doesn't stay confined to your gut. It travels through the bloodstream, often targeting areas with poor circulation, your knees, ankles, and feet. That simple breakfast bagel or slice of white toast from the morning could be behind the stiffness you feel at noon, the swelling by dinner, or the lingering aches that make movement harder. For anyone already managing arthritis, joint pain, or slow digestion, this combination quietly magnifies the discomfort, one meal at a time. The effects of this combination don't always show up right away, which makes it easy to overlook. The discomfort can build slowly, sometimes over hours, sometimes over days, making it hard to connect back to that morning meal. So before you reach for that fluffy white toast, sweet muffin, or chewy bagel to pair with your eggs, pause for a moment and consider the trade-off. Yes, the comfort may feel satisfying as you eat, but the stiffness, swelling, or fatigue that follows can quietly take over your day. Breakfast should energize you, not weigh you down with hidden consequences. Now, let's talk about another breakfast favorite that's hard to resist: a warm, cheesy omelet, scrambled eggs covered in melted cheddar, or a simple fried egg topped with that golden stretch of cheese. For many, cheese feels like comfort itself, a flavor tied to childhood memories and cozy mornings. But as we grow older, some foods that once served us well can start working against us. Processed cheese, especially the kind that melts perfectly smooth, can turn from friend to foe when paired with eggs. It's often packed with saturated fats, artificial additives, and a milk protein called casein, all of which can strain an aging digestive system and quietly add to inflammation. As we age, our digestive system naturally slows down, making it harder to process heavy, fatty foods. When you pair cheese with eggs, both rich and dense, you create a meal that lingers in the stomach, digesting slowly and putting extra strain on your gut. This sluggish process often triggers inflammation right where it starts. As your digestive system struggles to keep up, inflammatory compounds are released and carried through the bloodstream, spreading throughout the body. They tend to settle in areas where circulation is already weaker: your knees, calves, and ankles. You may not immediately connect that delicious, cheesy breakfast to the stiffness in your joints a few hours later, the dull ache in your legs by afternoon, or the swelling in your feet by evening, but the link is there. For older adults, especially those with sensitive digestion or pre-existing joint problems, this comforting meal can quietly become a source of pain. The effects rarely strike all at once. Instead, they build slowly over the day, making it easy to miss the true cause behind the discomfort. That cheesy omelet might feel like pure comfort on your plate, but it's worth pausing to ask, does that moment of satisfaction outweigh the strain it puts on your body? There are lighter, kinder ways to enjoy eggs without leaving your joints stiff or your legs heavy later in the day. What seems like a harmless breakfast habit could, over time, be laying the groundwork for lingering joint pain, poor circulation, and reduced mobility. Take cheese, for example. It isn't always the main culprit. It's the combination with other rich, heavy foods like eggs that challenges a body growing more sensitive with age. If you've noticed your fingers feeling stiff in the morning, your knees swelling by afternoon, or your legs feeling unusually heavy after short walks, it may be time to take a closer look at what's really on your breakfast plate. The encouraging news is you don't need to give up flavor to feel better. With a few smart and delicious substitutions, you can support your health and still enjoy your morning meals. But before we explore those alternatives, let's uncover another surprising culprit, one hiding in the very foods we've long believed to be the foundation of a healthy diet. Vegetables are undeniably packed with nutrients and life. Yet, there's a certain group called nightshades that can complicate things, especially for adults over 60 dealing with joint pain, leg stiffness, or arthritis. This family includes familiar favorites like tomatoes, bell peppers, white potatoes, and eggplant. These colorful, flavorful ingredients often end up in morning omelets, roasted sides, or savory breakfast casseroles with eggs. They seem perfectly healthy, but for some, they hide a quiet troublemaker called solanine. This natural compound, while harmless for many, can act like a silent irritant in those who develop sensitivity with age. It may aggravate nerve endings, trigger inflammation, and intensify joint and muscle discomfort. The challenge is that its effects are subtle and easy to overlook. Imagine this. You start your day with a plate of scrambled eggs mixed with tomatoes and peppers, feeling great at first. But hours later, your knees feel stiffer, or there's a faint burning in your calves as you climb the stairs. The connection isn't obvious, yet it's very real. You might chalk up that lingering stiffness or leg fatigue to aging, never realizing that those colorful vegetables could be quietly contributing to the problem. Over time, regular exposure to solanine from nightshades can subtly intensify joint soreness, nerve irritation, and tired legs. And when these veggies are paired with eggs, a rich, slow-digesting food, the combination can become a double strain on your system. Eggs take longer to process, and nightshades add another layer of complexity, making digestion more difficult. This can fuel inflammation, particularly in the lower body, where circulation naturally slows with age. If your joints feel stiff in the morning, your legs ache or feel restless, or there's a tingling in your feet you can't quite explain, nightshades might be playing a bigger role than you think. The lesson here is simple. Even healthy foods aren't always ideal for everyone. Our bodies change with time, and what once served us well at 40 may no longer do so at 60. Paying attention to how you feel after meals can reveal hidden patterns, and taking a short break from nightshades may bring surprising relief. Now let's turn to another sneaky trigger of inflammation that often hides in plain sight. The sweet little extras many of us can't resist at breakfast. Those small morning indulgences, like a spoonful of jam or a glass of orange juice, often feel like little rewards, especially after a lifetime of hard work. But for adults over 60, even small amounts of added sugar can quietly cause harm, particularly to the joints, nerves, and circulatory system. Here's why. When you consume sugary condiments or drinks, your blood sugar rises quickly. Your body rushes to balance it by releasing insulin, but over time, this constant up and down creates a damaging process known as glycation. In this process, sugar molecules attach to proteins in your body, like collagen in your joints or the lining of your blood vessels, forming stiff, sticky compounds that inflame and weaken these vital tissues. The result? A burning in your calves, tingling toes, or stubborn knee stiffness that seems to linger longer each day. Many older adults assume it's just part of aging or poor circulation, never realizing that a healthy glass of juice or their favorite jelly could be the real culprit. The problem only worsens when sugar is combined with heavier foods like eggs. Eggs are already slow to digest, and when paired with sugar, they can trigger widespread inflammation. For those dealing with diabetes, prediabetes, or nerve pain, This combination can be particularly harsh, quietly intensifying discomfort throughout the body. The truth is, that little hint of sweetness in your morning routine isn't just brightening your day. It might be quietly stiffening your joints, fraying your nerves, and making movement more difficult as the hours pass. Understanding this connection is the first step toward regaining comfort and energy. Soon, we'll explore simple swaps that satisfy your cravings without the hidden damage. It may seem insignificant, but those small, sugary extras and hidden ingredients can quietly build up over time, creating more trouble than you realize. If you've been dealing with persistent aches, tingling, or leg weakness that makes even simple tasks feel harder, it's worth examining what's really on your breakfast table. These aren't random issues, they're subtle warnings from your body. And sometimes, the cause lies in foods you've trusted for years. Take margarine, for example. For decades, it was promoted as the modern, healthier alternative to butter. You might recall those old ads showing smiling families spreading margarine on toast, believing it was the smarter choice for heart health. Many people, with the best intentions, made the switch, never realizing what was really hidden behind those promises. Back then, switching to margarine felt like a victory, a modern choice to protect your heart and cut cholesterol. But today, science paints a very different picture. Margarine, especially the kind made with hydrogenated oils, has quietly revealed its darker side. Far from being the hero it was advertised to be, it's now recognized as one of the most harmful culprits hiding on the breakfast table, particularly when paired with eggs. The real danger lies in trans fats, those man-made oils once hailed as innovation but now known as a health hazard. These artificial fats don't just sit harmlessly in your body, they ignite inflammation, harden arteries, and disrupt normal blood flow like rust clogging an old pipe. For those over 60, this is no small issue. Circulation naturally slows with age, especially in the legs, ankles, and feet. When trans fats enter the picture, it's like pouring thick sludge into an already sluggish stream. Tiny blood vessels get blocked, oxygen flow decreases, and your joints bear the brunt, making recovery and mobility harder with each passing day. The effects can appear faster than you think. A tingling in your toes after breakfast, a dull ache in your calves by mid-morning, or stiffness in your knees that lingers longer than usual. These are not coincidences. They may be your body's way of sounding the alarm. And here's the real twist. Margarine is a master of disguise. You might not even realize how often it sneaks into your meals. Maybe you spread it on your toast, use it to fry your eggs, or saute vegetables because it seems lighter than butter. But each time, you're likely adding a dose of trans fats that quietly fuel the very pain and fatigue slowing you down throughout the day. Now, imagine pairing that margarine with eggs, a favorite breakfast combination for many. Eggs on their own are nutritious, but they take effort for your body to digest. Add margarine, and you've created a heavy, inflammatory meal that puts extra strain on both your digestion and circulation. For older adults already managing stiffness, arthritis, or joint discomfort, this duo can silently worsen those symptoms day by day, eroding comfort and mobility over time. The good news is, you're not stuck with it. There are smarter, tastier alternatives. Natural fats like extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, or even a small pat of real butter can add flavor without the hidden health risks. These options not only protect your joints, but also keep your circulation strong. Soon, we'll bring it all together and reveal how to enjoy eggs the right way, without the sneaky pitfalls that could be holding you back. You might wonder why these effects seem to hit older adults harder than the younger crowd. The answer lies in how our bodies naturally change over time. After 60, two key systems, circulation and digestion, begin to slow down. Blood doesn't move as swiftly as it once did. Oxygen and nutrients take longer to reach your cells, and your digestive tract works at a gentler pace when breaking down food. This slowdown means that inflammatory compounds, toxins, and waste don't clear out as quickly. Instead, they linger, building up quietly over weeks, months, even years. And where do they tend to settle? In the lower half of the body, your legs, knees, ankles, and feet, areas already struggling with reduced blood flow. That's why so many older adults experience leg pain, stiffness, or that heavy, sluggish feeling when they move. Too often, these signs are dismissed as just part of aging. But in reality, much of that discomfort isn't inevitable. It's closely linked to what's on your plate each morning. Chronic inflammation rarely shouts. It whispers, building slowly with every meal until one day you notice your knees ache getting out of bed, or your legs feel weaker than before. Over time, this steady undercurrent of inflammation can sap your strength, throw off your balance, and make once simple activities like climbing stairs or walking the dog feel far more difficult than they should. For older adults, this isn't just a minor inconvenience. It's a real concern. Weaker legs and unsteady balance can increase the risk of falls, which may lead to fractures, hospital stays, or even the loss of independence you've worked so hard to maintain. But here's the encouraging part. Food isn't only the problem, it can also be the solution. By learning what to pair with your eggs and avoiding the wrong combinations, you can reduce inflammation, strengthen your joints, and move with greater confidence. Understanding how your body reacts to food as you age isn't merely about avoiding discomfort. It's about preserving your freedom, dignity, and quality of life. That's worth every mindful bite. The good news is, you don't have to give up eggs. They remain one of nature's simplest and most nourishing foods, especially for older adults, when paired wisely. The real secret lies not in the eggs themselves, but in how you elevate them with ingredients that truly serve your body. Choose foods that ease digestion, calm inflammation, and keep your blood sugar balanced. Picture starting your morning with a meal that not only satisfies your hunger, but actively supports your joints, sharpens your focus, and sustains your energy. It's not about giving things up, it's about building something better, one bite at a time. Try beginning with a handful of leafy greens, spinach, kale, or arugula, lightly sautéed in a drizzle of golden olive oil. These vibrant vegetables do more than add color to your plate. They're packed with antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds that help protect your cells from the wear and tear of time. These greens move smoothly through your digestive system, leaving behind none of the heaviness or bloating that richer foods often cause. When paired with the golden yolk of an egg, they create a breakfast that's both nourishing and light, a meal that fuels your body without weighing you down or stiffening your joints. Now let's add another layer of nourishment: avocado. Imagine its creamy jade green texture, rich and velvety, offering the satisfaction of butter or cheese but without the drawbacks. Avocado isn't just delicious, it's medicine for your heart, brain, and joints. Packed with monounsaturated fats, it supports cardiovascular health and reduces inflammation that can make mornings feel slow or stiff. Skip the processed cheese that burdens your system. Instead, spread a generous layer of avocado on whole grain toast or serve it beside 2 perfectly poached eggs. The result? A breakfast that feels indulgent yet keeps you energized, balanced, and ready to take on the day. And if your cravings tend towards something starchy, resist the pull of white bread or sweet pastries. Instead, reach for the natural sweetness of roasted sweet potatoes or the gentle nuttiness of quinoa. These complex carbohydrates digest slowly, providing steady energy without blood sugar spikes. Plus, they're rich in fiber and minerals like potassium and magnesium, nutrients that strengthen muscles and help soothe inflammation from within. Slice a sweet potato into golden rounds and roast them until they're caramelized and tender. Then top with a soft-boiled egg for a breakfast that feels both comforting and healing. Or stir quinoa into a warm scramble with greens and eggs for a dish that's simple yet deeply satisfying. These meals don't just fill you up, they strengthen your body from the inside out. How you prepare your eggs matters just as much as what you pair them with. Skip the margarine or artificial spreads that release harmful compounds when heated. Instead, use extra virgin olive oil for its gentle warmth, or avocado oil for its smooth richness. Better yet, Try methods that need no added fats at all. Boiling, steaming, or poaching. These cooking styles bring out the egg's natural flavor and preserve its nutrients without the oxidative stress caused by frying in unhealthy oils. A poached egg, perfectly soft with a silky yolk resting on sautéed spinach and a slice of whole grain toast, is a quiet masterpiece. Simple, pure, and kind to both your heart and joints. The beauty of this approach lies in its balance. It's not about restriction or strict rules, but about choosing meals that work with your body's rhythm, not against it. With just a few mindful adjustments, you can turn breakfast from a daily habit into a meaningful act of self-care and renewal. A truly nourishing breakfast can be a quiet source of strength and healing, one that leaves you feeling lighter, more flexible, and full of energy. Because breakfast isn't just about food on a plate. It's a daily ritual, a small but powerful act of self-care. Each forkful you take in the morning sends a message to your body, setting the tone for how you'll move, think, and feel throughout the day. When you choose foods that protect your joints, calm inflammation, and nurture your spirit, you're doing more than eating. You're making a promise to yourself, a promise to walk with less pain, think with greater clarity, and age with resilience, dignity, and independence. You don't have to give up eggs. They can remain a comforting part of your mornings, a trusted companion at your table. The real question is, who will you let share that plate? Will it be processed meats, greasy hash browns, and sugary spreads that leave you sluggish and sore? Or will you pair your eggs with fresh, wholesome allies, foods that lift you up instead of weighing you down? That quiet choice in your kitchen each morning can ripple through your entire day, influencing how smoothly your knees bend, how strong your stride feels, and how much vitality you carry into the afternoon. Because the truth is, no matter how many birthdays you've celebrated, you still have remarkable control over how you feel. You don't need a drastic diet or a total overhaul. Just a few intentional choices each morning can create lasting, meaningful change. Swapping bacon for a handful of greens, white toast for roasted sweet potato slices, or margarine for a drizzle of olive oil. These aren't sacrifices. They're wise investments in your freedom and vitality. Each small change is a step toward a body that moves with ease, a mind that stays sharp, and a spirit that refuses to slow down. So tomorrow morning, as you stand by the stove cracking an egg into the pan or lowering it gently into simmering water, take a brief pause. Ask yourself, what kind of day do I want to create? Let that question guide your hand as you reach for the spinach, the avocado, or the quinoa. Let your breakfast mirror your intentions, a meal that not only nourishes you, but empowers you. Because whether you're in your 60s, 70s, 80s, or beyond, you remain the architect of your health and happiness. You still hold the power to grow, to heal, and to thrive. And every morning, with each mindful bite, you're building a life that's active, vibrant, and filled with purpose, one nourishing breakfast at a time. And there you have it. Everything you need to know about how to enjoy eggs the smart way, without the hidden risks that quietly wear down your comfort and mobility. We've explored how certain breakfast pairings can trigger inflammation, joint pain, and leg discomfort after 60, and how a few mindful swaps can transform your morning meal into a true source of strength and healing. So, what stands out to you most? Maybe it's the surprising effect of processed meats, the hidden inflammation caused by refined carbs, or the power of pairing eggs with leafy greens for better health. Whatever it is, let it be a reminder that small, intentional choices can create lasting change in how you feel every day. Take care of your body, listen to its signals, and choose foods that support your energy and mobility for years to come. Wishing you good health, happiness, and peace. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Healthy Aging Blueprint, for more insights on living strong and well.